We're at sea today. It is day 90. No, shoot. Why is this so difficult for me? I was having the same issue back at home. What is today? It is. It's day 94. Okay. Whew. Goodness gracious. And we're at sea. And it's a kind of dreary, feels a little misty out there. Wet day. We're headed on what? I shan't tell you the destination yet. I kind of like the surprise. But if you have certain things of mine, then you already know the destination. So, like the 42-day transformational daily devotional. If you downloaded that, then you know where I'm headed next. So, day 94. Oh man, I can't believe that I am here. First of all, let me just say, this has been no small feat. I'm claiming 100 because it's 94. Barring death, or a severe accident, I'm making it to 100 days of posting daily on YouTube. And this has been a wonderful journey. A couple of times with the travel, it's been a little bit frustrating because I didn't have the internet connection, and it's just been a whole learning experience trying to vlog daily and do it as close to daily happenings and not batch create in advance. But dang, I got a hair in my eye. It's been very important for me. I wanted to take you on this journey. There were a couple of technical difficulties, and true to myself and who I am, I'm like, I'm gonna figure it out and try to figure out a workaround and refine it. But this whole process is just teaching me a lot more patience and learning how to surrender, having control, and learning how to still move through the uncomfortable moments without having everything all figured out. And that's what I really, really want to impress upon you. I want to impress upon you the fact that you are more resilient than you are giving yourself credit for. You're smarter than you're giving yourself credit for. You are more brave. Everything that you are doubting in yourself is there. It's there, and you have to unleash it. And I don't know what the catalyst is, because everybody's journey, everybody's thing is different. We're not all the same, but I'm telling you that it's inside of you. And the fear of the unknown is okay. If you have an idea, if you have a dream and you're scared as crap, it's okay. And you should be scared because, they say there's a saying, like, if you aren't afraid, then your dreams aren't big enough. Definitely. It's okay to be afraid. It's okay to have doubt. It's okay to question. But what it's not okay to do is let those feelings keep you where you are. If you're desiring change, if you're desiring something, different, that's the change. In forward movement, you have to move. And moving isn't always great. We've been conditioned to feel like we have to have everything figured out before we have a plan. There's several women. One, Andie. Andie is a lady that I met in Glow's feed. And Glow Atanmo is my mentor. She is one of the founders of the Life Leap, and that's the entrepreneurial cohort that I have been in. And I met Andie. It's so funny how I met Andie. I met Andie in the comments section on one of Glow's posts. It was probably a year ago or something like that, or maybe even longer. But Glow posted about her recent ADHD diagnosis, and she was just sharing how she felt about it. And I saw the post on Instagram, so that's where we were. And she was just talking about it, and so I think I commented, and there was this one account, One Daring Adventure. The word one, O-N-E, daring, D-A-R-I-N-G, and adventure. That was the user's handle. And so we were talking, and I was like, yeah, I was diagnosed as well, or maybe, I don't know, but we were exchanging comments, having a conversation in the comments, and it was just really cool. Well, then fast forward a few months or so, I remember we got this new member into the Life Leap cohort or community. She isn't in my particular cohort, but in the community. And something happened, and I just started, I was like, wait a minute. I started connecting the dots. Something that she said, I think, because in the comments, so Andie has 5 children, and they left America and went to Portugal. And her whole journey and story is very, it's unique. They have special needs children, they have adopted children, they have a multiracial or a lot of races in their family. I don't know how to say that correctly, but they have a lot of races in their family, and they are figuring it out. And so the one thing that, where I'm going with this is that Andie moved across the world. She relocated. Her journey to ending up in Portugal wasn't linear. It wasn't, the path that she had chosen to particularly go on, but they also did it during the pandemic. So they had to make shifts and pivots on the spot. And, and so of that, Andie is a creative. Andie is an entrepreneur. Andie has a product. It was the Get Me Out of Here workshop. And it was a workshop and resources that she put together for people who were interested in leaving the U.S. and becoming expats somewhere else. This hair in my eye is driving me crazy. Okay, sorry, y'all. So Andie will tell you and told us in that workshop that you don't have to have your end destination in mind. Where you want to live. You don't have to have that figured out right now. The desire is what it is. And she gives you practical tips for how to navigate trying to become an expat. And a lot of, creative ways to experience different countries while you're trying to figure this out. And that is big. Think about it. My journey is, my journey of trying to become unstuck, trying to become an entrepreneur, and the non-linear route that I've had to take, and the frustration and things. But think about trying to relocate your entire family to another country in the midst of the pandemic. I think that there is so much to be said about that, and the bravery and the courage that it took, and I'm sure the many uncomfortable moments that her and her family experienced. And she had adolescence. She has adolescence. So all of that. There was one point where she said they were in campers in her parents' backyard in Florida, I think. I'm going off of my memory and it's been months. But just, all of that, the unexpectedness. And, and here they are. She in Portugal, and I can't remember the exact number of years, but I know she just went through the process of reapplying for, new visas, because I think the visas that they had received, they were at, needed to be renewed. And so I just want to, I want to encourage you, if a family can pick up and move across the world, and Portugal wasn't their original destination. Memory serves me correct. It wasn't. Okay, a side note. I'm struggling to remember because I'm telling you off the top of my head. This isn't a scripted video. I haven't done the research. I share with you what I'm feeling as it's happening, and this is today. So, forgive me, but this is, I just keep it real with you, so I don't have she was supposed to move here and I don't have all of those details. I can hardly keep track of my details sometimes. But the overall story is one of, hope and courage and bravery, and not having all the answers. And in something like a move where you're leaving a country and going to another one, you would think, I have to have this plan to a T and figure it out. And that is not the case. And I want to encourage you to let that mindset go, to realize that it's okay. It's okay to fail. It is all right. It is okay to fail, because it's in the failure that you have the opportunity to learn and to be better, and you get back up. Think about Donnie McClurkin. We fall down, but we get up. A savior is just a sinner that fell down but got back up. I mean, that's all that it is. There is no magic formula. It's the desire, or maybe there is a magic formula, and the formula is a little bit different for everybody. It's not a one size fits all, but I think that in that formula, definitely, being okay with not having all the answers, still moving through the uncomfortable moment, allowing yourself permission to feel what you feel, and continuing on. If you need a day, take a day. If you need 2 days, take whatever time you need. Only you know what you need. But you have to have the courage to get back up and to continue on, because otherwise you're just going to stay there, and it's going to be an unpleasant place. I talk about making your rut comfortable and putting pillows and things in there. I did it. I understand. I recognize it. And we get in our own ways, and we have to just stop and say, okay, self, just sit down, take a time out. So, that's what I want to encourage you today. I'm at sea, like I said. I don't really have anything planned. It is Saturday, June 20th, and I got a little bit of laundry that I need to do, but I think I might wait. I might even maybe try to do it tomorrow. We have a long port day. I think 12 hours in port tomorrow. And let's see what we got going on tomorrow. Yes, we got a 12-hour port day. So it's a big one. And I don't have anything planned yet. I have my, okay, so let me just say this to the folks that have said, well, maybe, better planning would have been helpful for different things. So I created a document for this entire sailing, and it is called One Day in Every Port. And basically it's all of the ports, and you can sort it by region. So I have Africa, Atlantic Islands, Western Europe, Northern Europe, the UK, and London. And I have in here what's important about the particular port. You know, where to go to eat, what are the points of interest, potential day by day, or my day broken down hour by hour. I mean, just a guide. What the currency is, the language, transportation, and what the weather is like. And so I did that for each of the ports. So when I say I don't have anything planned, I haven't figured it out, I have a general idea, but again, I am learning how to just kind of go with the flow and not have everything so figured out, to leave room for myself to experience the unexpected, to, you know, and just enjoy life. I have a general idea, and that has been very helpful for me. And I think I'm going to continue with that. You know, I have an idea of what it is that I want to do. I have an idea of, say, the destination, what I ultimately want. But what I'm learning is that that's subject to change, and that I'm not locked into it. So I do have that information. I also created one for going to the Pandora stores, you know, because I told you that Pandora and going there or getting my charms is something else. So I have a PDF that tells me how to get from the terminal to the various Pandora stores. I also created something for, what was this last one? Yeah, the port walkability guide, because I've shared with you that walkability is big for me. I would prefer to do it opposed to having to navigate transportation and all of that by vehicle or, you know, other means. I would just prefer to get out and walk. So I have done some research. This trip is teaching me, you know, other things to look at. Like, a lot of us were surprised that, you know, it was the Islamic New Year, and, you know, Princess already had that. I mean, so new things to consider for future destinations. Like, are there any, you know, religious, you know, observances that are taking place around the time that I'm headed there? You know, what is the culture on, you know, photography and videography? You know, some other things that might be maybe more specific to me and my interests. So that's, you know, something that I will use in the future for other travel plans for myself and clients. That's it today. I'm just gonna, you know, take it easy, edit some videos, and I'm gonna work on getting you that video I owe you too. I haven't forgot. There's Namibia, the full video of what it was like in the town in Namibia. Walvis Bay is the town or port, and then La Coruña. You see how my mind, yeah, La Coruña. And so I'm gonna give you those two, and yeah. So I appreciate you for watching and engaging and being here, and I will talk to you tomorrow, Port Day. Have a great one.